Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Thea George and I'm here with Paul Thomalla from ACI Worldwide. We're at Sibos 2017 in Toronto and we're talking about real-time payments. Paul, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
ACI has hosted a series of roundtables recently, bringing together members of the community to talk about the imminent go-live of real-time payments, and actually Finextra and ACI have worked together on a couple of those. I have to say one of my key takeaways was around the business case discussion. What do you think about that one?
Well, I think it's the biggest topic in town, but to a degree I think it's a red herring as well. And we really got into that debate. And so people are saying, so what is the business case for this? And you say, well, it kind of depends upon where your argument is. If you're talking about the business case of changing the bank and what systems that you will bring in and what offerings you can bring to your client because of it, and especially how you work the data to your end client, your actual stakeholder, then there is the business case, and that's the real cultural change we're going to see.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think a key part of the business case discussion as well was around cannibalization and the fear that they're going to, rob Peter to pay Paul, as it were. What did you think about that aspect?
Well, I think that is the constant conversation, and if you're the P&L owner of one part of the bank, then this is, of course, an anathema. You really don't want to bring it in because you fear that your line of business is going to go away. But we heard from several banks who said that in fact, when they've done similar type of activities in the past, that really hasn't happened. On the other hand, we do know that it is an opportunity for the banks to use low-cost internal routing. If they want to move their ACH traffic over to IP and so on and so forth, then actually they have the opportunity to save money, and let alone the cost of taking away all of those silos and all the other payment engines that they've had over the last 10, 20, 30 years. So, I understand, but in fact, I don't think that's a reality just yet.
Okay, so it was fairly evident, I think, from the discussions that I was party to, that we're moving into a very different world, a new way of working, a new way of approaching payments. Do you get the impression that the banks are organisationally ready for that change? I
think that's a very hard one, because I think, I've heard people say in different guises, this is probably a once-in-a-lifetime change. And people say it in different ways, but it's the change from going from an analog world essentially to a digital world. And the consequences of that are the things that you used to do in the past aren't always relevant for what you need to do in the future. So culturally, are you ready to build a business case dependent upon data when you speak directly to your actual customer? Well, I'm not sure that's currently a strong suit within the bank. So I think culturally they're trying to work out how to do that. And I think it's not unrealistic to say that really cultural change is the biggest aspect of what we see that's brought in by immediate payments, not because of immediate payments, but because of the context of what it brings with it.
So I think the discussions so far on the roundtables have been really good and insightful and useful. Are there further opportunities for banks to come together to talk around the implications of real time, and what do you think those further discussions will look at?
The next one we're going to do is going to be in Paris, 29th of November. Obviously that's a European one, and regulators are there, so it'll be a different tone. We have one that's going to be in the 7th of December, and that's going to be in San Francisco. So that'll be more of the type of tone and context that we've had just recently.
Okay, I shall look forward to both of those then, Paul. This has been great. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.